Hello again, peoples of the interwebs. It's the Lunatic back again, and as you can see, I'm back here on the Titancraft server. It's been a long time since I've done one of these Titan Talks episodes. I did one not too terribly long after the previous one happened, but due to audio issues, I had to delete the whole thing, and it was so bad. I think I was talking about actually, I can't remember what I was talking about, but I just wanted to show you here quickly that a lot of work has happened on the airport here. We've actually got the entire area dug out completely, and a lot of the runways have been laid out, or I say runways, I guess taxiways. Oops, that's not the button that I wanted to hit. It's going to be this one right here, F1. Okay. Oh, hang on a second. 10 double chests of sand and 10 double chests of gravel to make gray concrete. Oh, wow. Thanks a ton. Alrighty. A lot of people have been coming in to help us out with getting this all finished. Pendle, the amazing Pendle is one of them. Annie, who is online right now, has been very helpful. And a number of others who, unfortunately, I can't remember the names just because I'm honestly pretty terrible about that sort of thing. But anyway, a lot of the taxiways here have already been completely laid out. We have a runway here that needs to be finished. This runway up here has gotten a lot of work done on it. This one's about halfway done. And we have a few planes that have been added, as well as that structure there, whatever it's called, the terminal. That's what it is. So this one right here is Bear Spoon? I can't actually remember what he's called now. But it's his personal airline plane thing of doom. He is calling his airline... oh, hang on a second. Do I have my sound on? Music and sound? Yes, I do. Okay. But he's calling his airline Bera Era, which I think is pretty funny and kind of a fun little play on words there. But yeah, this is some sort of plane. I don't know what kind, but it's a scale model build that he designed himself, I believe. And it's really cool, as are all the other ones, of course. You would have seen this one right here. It used to be sitting over there, but then he moved it because it wasn't in the right spot. And I think there's one more over here. Yeah, there's a little plane over here. Again, all of these scale model, I'm pretty sure he designed them all. He's a bit of an aircraft nerd, like not huge entirely, completely aircraft nerdy type thing, but he quite likes his aircrafts, his planes and such, and he's very good at designing them. This right here is Fiji Air. I don't remember whose airline this is, but a lot of the people who've helped out on this project, he's allowed them the ability to choose an airplane style or an airline, I guess. Name an airline and then design like the color scheme of the planes for it. Of course, you can see here the terminal quick. And I helped out a lot with it, I guess. Bear Fork came up with the design in general. If we fly up a fair bit, you can kind of see it maybe a little bit better if I... Yeah, there we go. But I designed the roof because he couldn't figure that out, so I ended up stepping in and helping out with that. And it's the only modern-ish sort of thing I've ever done in Minecraft, and I think it turned out pretty well. A lot of other people who've looked at it have quite liked it too. And I've been specifically complimented on that design, which I think is kind of nifty since I consider myself to be something of a terrible builder when it comes to Minecraft, generally speaking. But anyway, I just wanted to give you kind of a quick update on that sort of stuff, and we're really clutching on it or pulling the clutch. I don't know. There's words and terms involved. Ooh, I can fall in here. Okay. I was honestly curious about that, but there's. We're really pulling out all the stops here because the season of Titancraft is actually coming to a close soon. 1.13 has, of course, come out, and as you can see somewhere in here, where does it say? Does it say Java? Oh, yeah, yes, here we go. Yep, 1.12.2 is what Titancraft is still running on. So a lot of people are working on wrapping up their projects. Those people who've already wrapped up projects are stepping in to help other people. And there's a few people who also have projects that aren't finished, but they just kind of acknowledge that they're not likely to finish them at this point due to time constraints, material constraints, etc. So some of them have donated very handsomely, actually, to this particular project. And so today I'm going to be placing in a bunch of concrete while I do a little bit of talking and kind of updating you on how things are going. With things in my life, just because that's, I don't know, if it's a thing I felt like doing. I wanted to do something vaguely productive, and I didn't feel like producing an entire SMPDX episode at the moment, or in fact editing the one that I have waiting in the wings, where I finish catching a guardian, an elder guardian actually, with that nerd, which is pretty crazy stuff. I think it was a lot of fun to do. But the editing of that particular video style, where you're recording for a long stretch of time with another person, is just difficult when neither of you are used to that particular format. So I don't know. I don't feel like doing it. I've got a couple of other projects I could be doing right now as well, but I decided to do this. And the reason actually that I have the time to record like this, because, of course, I don't like recording when there's other people around for a couple of different reasons. One, I don't want to bother them. Two, it weirds me out just a little bit to talk about things when there's other people around. And in fact, during there was not the ones that I was doing with wait a minute. If I can't get enough ink in the next couple of hours, squid hunting, are you okay to have the sand and gravel and add the dye? Let me check on that quick. But I did kind of a little updatey thing on SMPDX where I talked about, I think it was the last episode I did in 1.12 is what it was called, because we updated to 1.13 just a couple of days later, or something like that. And that one right there, actually, I had somebody come in to the room here where I'm recording, and it kind of messed me up a little bit, just made it feel weird, and I tried very hard not to have that come out in the recording, and I have no idea if I succeeded or not. But hang on a second, I'm going to answer Pendle here, and then I will get back to you guys. Alrighty, Pendle has been answered, and we are heading back out here to keep filling in. What was I saying? Oh yeah, recording during times when there's people. Yeah, I don't like doing that, and especially with like Titancraft, but Titan Talks episodes, which is what I've been calling this series, where I talk about things that are a little bit more serious and a little bit less lighthearted. I don't know. I don't like talking about that sort of thing when there's other people around who I'm not talking to about it, because I phrase everything very specifically based on the person I'm talking to, or the people that I'm talking to. So if I'm like, if I'm talking to my mother, I'm going to phrase things in a specific way. If I'm talking to one of my siblings, I'll phrase things slightly differently. If I'm talking to my fiance, I'll phrase things a little bit differently with her than I would with the others, or a friend or whatever. And talking to you guys, I phrase things a little bit differently. And even though maybe just with the general public of YouTube, I'm not going to share nearly as much as I would with one of my good friends or a sibling, or other such family member, it still weirds me out a little bit to have that kind of phrasing difference for me. So I don't record when there's other people around who can hear me if I can at all help it. Like I said the other time, my fiance's brother came in and sat down at his computer, which is totally fine. I'm staying at their family's house right now, and vaguely intruding on their space with my whole setup and everything. And so if they want to come in and do their stuff, that's good on them, and I can't fault them for that. But I decided I'd keep recording because it almost felt like it would be less or more weird, rather, to just stop recording right when he got down there, and then I would have had to cut it, and I was really wanting to. Anyway, long story short, this is a bit of an odd thing for me to be able to do right now, and it's funny enough because the grocery store that I'm currently working for. Are we completely out of gray? Oh, that's not good. Well, there goes my plans for this episode, I think. Okay. Oh, that was the same one. I'm gonna have to look around and see if we have more gray somewhere. Found a little something. Ooh, gravel. Ooh, more gravel. Okay. Anyway. The grocery store that I work at, they have, of course, they're a 24-hour grocery store, so they have overnight positions that need to be filled. And the overnight cashiering position, they just had one of their overnight cashiers transferred to a different position in the store, and I think another one's on vacation or something like that. So they were a bit short with their overnight, so I volunteered to take one. Specifically, the one starting at 10 p.m. later today, and it is currently 4:56 a.m. And so right now, I'm staying up really late because I want to go to sleep and then, wake up and not be too tired when it comes time to be working and everything like that. So I'm really hoping that I can go to bed in like an hour or two or something like that and be good to go for later. But who really knows? But that's why I'm doing this right now, I guess, is that I just had the opportunity come up, and I jumped on it for reasons of, I don't know, I just felt like recording one of these and just talking about things, because it has been a really busy summer, and, as I've mentioned a number of times, SMPDX, I want that to be fun and games and whatnot, and I want to break the fourth wall as little as possible in that series, but there's just a few things that are going on right now that I kind of want people's opinions on and people's thoughts about, because things aren't going the way I would like them to be going with my channel, and I in no way mean view-wise. I have no idea how many views I receive on any given video. Come on, keyboard work. It's probably less than 20, honestly, for the most part. Like, I have a few videos occasionally. Weirdly enough, the Crocodile Dentist video, that got a lot of views. Like, that one was really popular, and I don't know why. It wasn't a bad video. I'm not saying I made a bad video or anything, but it was just surprisingly very popular. It got a lot more views than I would have expected it to. I have no idea why that is. I think it's really cool. Sorry about the jerk there. My mouse pad was falling off my keyboard thing, and I had to move it back on, and it flopped my mouse. Anyway, I detract or something. Not detract. I don't know. Digress. That's the word I'm looking for. Are we really out of gray concrete? I think we are. Okay. Well, there's not really much else for me to do on here. I guess I'm just gonna wander. That's weird. Because Pendle's gathering a bunch of materials. Yeah, I don't know. But man, this is really throwing me off, and I have no idea what to do at this point, because my whole plan was to get on here and start filling in concrete, but people have been too darn efficient. They've been too darn efficient, man, and have left me very unsure as to where to go from here. Oh, I can do that. Okay, I know what to do. Placing floor in the thing. Okay. Now that I'm back on track with life and the universe and everything, of course, all the important things having to do with Minecraft, as always, or something like that. Who really knows? Let's see here. Yeah, we'll go like that for now. Let's get a whole nother group. How to slabs. There we go. Oh, crikey, O'Reilly. That's a lot of slabs. Okay, now, I'm mildly confused as to where I was going with anything now. Okay, stuff and things and channel. Oh yes. I probably get like 20 views per video, maybe. And I don't care. That's not why I do YouTube at all. You guys should know that by now. If you don't, then I mean, I guess I don't know. Anyway, I say that all the time. I don't care about the views or the likes or anything like that. I do this because I enjoy it. But obviously, like I said, a lot of things just aren't going the way that I would like them to be on my channel. In a lot of ways, due to the fact that I don't have a lot of that time to record, like what I was talking about. Where there's not people around, and I'm able to just kind of be alone to do my own thing. And that's something that at the moment is a factor that's just out of my control. Due to the current situation, I decided I would stay with my fiance's family during the summer and maybe a few months after that, depending on how things went for things and whatnot. Insert details here. Due to the fact that I needed a place to stay, and I had a bunch of traveling happening over the summer. Vacation with her family, vacation with my family, all sorts of fun things. And I kind of decided that if I wasn't going to be staying at a place during a large amount of time, it was better to just live somewhere where I didn't have to pay rent and save money so that I could pay rent later on. And they've been very generous to me, as they have my whole life, really. We've family friends basically since before I was born. So it's been good, and I enjoy it and whatnot. But that has made things difficult. But that's a little bit out of my control just at the moment. I'm currently looking at ways to fix that situation. I say fix it. I don't know. Anyway, things are I'm trying to do things with my life, and it's of course difficult and annoying, because adulting is annoying, as you have to actually do things for yourself, which is good, definitely. But still annoying. Oh crap! Come on, game. Do the way that you're supposed to do, by which I mean the way that I want you to do. In any case, what I'm mostly talking about is my options for content are a little bit odd, right? I've done a lot of unboxing videos of late. I say of late, I guess. A lot of the recent content, can I say recent? Crikey. A lot of the most recent content, there we go, on my channel was unboxing videos, right? I did that week of unboxing a while ago, and I did unboxings for like some Pokemon cards, and I had that Crocodile Dentist game, which is awesome, and whatnot. And we're celebrating that awesome video apparently. Those are great, but unboxing videos cost money in the long run, because I need money to buy the things to unbox. And, there was the things that Bear Fork sent me, or Bear Spoon. Crikey, I can't get that right. I'm never going to. Sorry, Bear. The things that Bear sent me. And, that was insanity. I still can't believe he did that. It was very cool, awesome stuff. I used it not nearly as much as I want to, but whenever I get the chance, I just picked up the 3DS again, rather, and was playing it a little bit last night, trying to figure something out. And lots of fun has been had and will continue to be had moving forward with all of that. Well, that was a mistake. This place is almost very scary. Okay. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought again. Oh yes, unboxing videos cost money. And the last thing I want to do, of course, is to ask people to send me things to unbox, because I don't know, that feels weird. I never like asking for gifts, even for my family. I don't like saying, oh yeah, I really want this as a gift, hint hint, type of a thing, or oh hey, you should get me this so that I can do this thing, which is something I really need to get over a little bit, because they have they want to be able to buy me presents for my birthday and Christmas, but I feel so weird asking, saying, oh, these are the things that I want, for a variety of reasons. And I'm really trying to rethink that kind of mentality of things. Crikey, I can't place blocks worth a darn right now, because I have I have some projects that I really want to work on, which require materials, which require money, and individually, these bits and bobs and whatnot that I want to use to work on things aren't expensive, right? I have a green screen photography thing that I would like to get into. And for that, I need, I would like, I have a green screen and I have a thing to put it on, but I would need more options. I would want a blue screen, I'd want a red screen, and then I'd want a black and white background options as well for that variety. And there's a few other materials that I would need. There's some custom PVC type of things that I would like to build to do with this. There's some lights and just things, materials, equipment that I need, and it all adds up, right? It's a couple $100 once you add it up, and if my family wants to get me presents for things, well, I can say, hey, look, here's a list of these items that I need to be able to work on this project. Maybe you guys can, get a few of them or whatever, right? If you guys got me, or if my family were to get me, or friends, I suppose, whoever is gifting me things, were to get me of just a few of these items, that would cut down on my cost quite a bit, in the long run. Or there's a voice recorder thing that I really want, which if several people wanted to go in together on it, it's like $150 or something. I don't know how much it is, but if several people were to go in on it together, I certainly don't mind getting gifts that are tandem gifts or whatever you'd want to call them. If people want to co-gift something, that's totally fine by me. And so if some people wanted to go in on that, then that'd be great. But anyway, this is just a very long roundabout way of saying that I don't have spare money right now to do unboxing videos. And I don't expect to anytime soon, really, due to the fact that A, I'm not making a ton of money at the moment, and B, when I am making more money, a lot of that's going to be going, like I said, I have a fiance. I got engaged this summer. I don't remember if I've mentioned that before in a video. I feel like I have. But in any case, weddings cost money, and families cost money, and, like, I have a vehicle, which... It's a 2002 or 2001, early 2000s Toyota Sienna. It has some repairs that it needs done, and it's not old. It's in this current millennium, which is better than any other vehicle I've had, but it's not new either. And things can go wrong with vehicles. Aside from the back suspension, rear suspension or front, I think it's the rear suspension, still needs some work. The radiator fans or whatever fans up in front need some help, and the air conditioning, I think, needs a recharge. I don't know. The air conditioning needs something done to it because it doesn't work at all right now. Hopefully it's just a recharge. That's, from my understanding of things at least, a pretty simple fix that really, just has to get done occasionally to air conditionings. But point being, there's the car. Eventually I'm gonna need to move out of here, whether that's, hopefully sooner rather than later, really. Not to say that I don't like living here, but once you've lived on your own for long enough, and then, or especially when you grew up as part of a large family. I'm the oldest of 9 kids. I didn't move out of the house until just before my last sibling was born, so kid number 9, before my baby sister was born. I say baby, she's not a baby anymore, it's crazy. But just before she was born was when I moved out, and I moved out to live with my grandma for a while, and then to help her with some things, and then I moved back home for a few months, and then I probably moved out, and doing that, getting to a point where I had my own space, I had my own responsibilities. I didn't have to worry about the needs of the many, over the needs of the me, to the same, in the same way, right? Like, in a family structure, right? You have the parents, of course, who are at the head of the structure, at least in theory, and talking normal family structure, right? Obviously, there's exceptions, but normal family structure, you have the parents who are the head of the situation, the head of the structure, and make all the primary decisions and the primary appointments and scheduling and meal planning and all that sort of stuff, and everything kind of revolves around them and their abilities to plan things, their abilities to get things done, and their decisions that they make. That's mostly how the life of a family runs, especially a large family where there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of people. My parents had an amazingly huge amount of work set ahead of them for this whole thing, being a large family, and they did a great job of it. But it's very different than when you're living on your own, right? When you're the child in that situation, you don't have nearly as much say in what's going on. You know, for instance, washing laundry, right? We had loads of laundry going constantly due to the fact that there were, 11 people living in that, well, 10 people living in the house at any given time, really. Myself and then one of my brothers have moved out at this point, and they're still constantly doing laundry, and there's only 9 of them. It's crazy. It's insanity. Laundry is just a never-ending thing. But when I was living on my own, I have my laundry situation sorted out, so I have like a month's worth of clothing to go through before I actually need to do laundry. And so I could get away with, doing laundry once a month, and I wouldn't have to butt into the middle of a schedule. I wouldn't be like, oh crap, I'm running out of socks. I need to do laundry now. Oh, well, mom is currently working on doing towels, or she's running through loads of bedding, or, etc. Maybe my brothers are doing their laundry, or my sisters are doing their laundry, or whatever. Maybe dad has to do his laundry because he's also running out of socks. Not something that you have to worry about when you live on your own. Especially when you keep weird schedule like me and can do your laundry at stupid time of the night. A lot of things like that. Meal planning, you don't have to revolve your meal time around the meal times of others. Nobody cares particularly much if you just decide to go off and eat on your own instead of with the unit of the family. And if, you just kind of eat what the heck you want to a degree. And it's great. You live with your own schedule, your own rules, as it were. And living in a house that, again, like, I'm in a bit of an odd, unique situation here. I'm not under the control of the parents in this house in the same way as I would be if I was their child. But at the same time, I have to respect everything here, right? In a very different way. 3, 4. I have to respect everything here in a very different way than I would if I were, if it's my own place. And I can't just go around and make changes to the space. By the way, spoilers on what the airport is going to look like eventually. We've been doing a lot of work in creative with World Edit and things, and yeah, Bear's been designing planes, and it's really cool, but I need to check measurements and whatnot before I get too ahead of myself here. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm 1 off. That's okay. Easy enough to do. Alrighty. So, right now I have my computer set up, right? And I've talked about my computer setup in the past. I had 5 monitors hooked up to my computer, which is... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I had five monitors hooked up. Wow, that's difficult to say. 5 monitors hooked up to my computer. And, across what? I had 1, 2, 3... Let's see here. 1 over here. 2, 3... 4, 5. I had 5 desks around me for various different reasons. They all had their uses, and I did different things with them. Amazingly enough, yes, I used 5 monitors, and I used all of them. I had 5 desks, and I used all of them. Sometimes it was just for storage, but I did. And people are always very surprised by that fact. Oh, there's a thing over there that I'll have to fix. Oh, well, that's okay. But here I have 1 desk here that I can use, which is fine. It works out fine. Most people only ever use 1 desk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it works out great for them. I'm just a very oddball person who happens to really like having a lot more in the way of media space. I can't take up any more room here, really. I'm in a room where there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other desks spread out with 6 other people's computers on them, some of which have multiple screens, some of which don't. there's a printer down here, there's storage because we're in the basement. There's a lot of stuff going on down here, and they managed to squeeze me in, and I'm super grateful for that. Because my laptop does not work well enough to run anything, except for like Paint.net, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not the best image editing program out there, but it works for what I want to do. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there we go. But this all to say that. What is this all to say? Oh yeah, I can't spend money on unboxing videos. SMPDX has been a wonderful thing that I've been super happy to kind of spearhead for the last while. I don't know. I've been sort of the head admin, head primary admin-y person on it, sort of the owner of the server. Well, I literally am the owner of the server. I'm the one who pays for it and organizes things to make sure that it keeps running in various fashions. I coordinate the other people on the server, the mods, and just kind of make sure that everything is continuing to run smoothly. And I talk to the people who play on it and various things like that, just to kind of make sure things are running smoothly. If there's any disputes, I settle that. So I run the server. I don't own the community, but I definitely run the server. And I am super happy to be doing that. I love it. It has been great in my life, and many of just a bad time has been thwarted by being part of this community and having these people to talk to and hang out with. But at this point, it's really slowed down. A lot of the people are back in school now. Of course, that's that is to be expected. Oh man, what have I done wrong here? Something's gone terribly wrong with this torch placement around in this place. I have no idea what it is, but I'm just gonna forget it and go with everything else. Pardon me while I get a quick drink. Lots of talking happening here. How long have we been recording? Half an hour. Brilliant. Okay. Okay, yeah, so SMPDX is the other primary thing that I've been doing. And, the server has just slowed to a halt. Now, when 1.13 came out, we talked a lot about if we wanted to do a reset, because, people just weren't playing. People, we're having weird connection issues at this point, is the biggest problem, I think. And it's weird because people are able to connect to every server except for SMPDX. SMPDX they have problems with. We've tried changing hosts. We tried renewing files in there that may have been corrupted. We've tried upgrading the server in a couple of different ways. And just to no avail. I don't know. Something's weird and wrong with the server that nobody has been able to figure out. And it's really, really put a dampener on enthusiasm and play on the server. People like Nano and Tadachu and Piper, to name a few. Let me think here. There might be one more who I just can't think of their name right now. Toby, of course. That's who it is. Jeez. Toby has had problems, and I've been having problems too lately. And, the thing with that is, Tadachu and Nano are from Germany. Toby is from England. I'm from the United States. There's not a common area involved here. And every solution that we've tried, we always start with, okay, is it potentially that it's an aerial thing? Excuse me. Something just based on the location that the person lives in. Is it something that just the Germans are experiencing? No, it's not been. Is it something that just Brits have been experiencing? No, a lot of Brits don't experience problems on the server. At all. None. And, upgrading to 1.13, which is not optimized in the slightest, in any way, shape, or form, has not helped. Okay, wait a minute. Is this 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Oh. Well, that's a bit annoying. But workable. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Is that supposed to be like that? Probably. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so there's just been weird problems on the server. For me, for everyone, really. And it's, I don't want to say that it's 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. Somehow this has ended up being correct. It has been a bit discouraging, honestly. Trying to get everything figured out, trying to fix things that just aren't being fixed in the slightest. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Somehow this ended up coming through correctly, despite my counting in places. I wonder how that does work, because that comes in, but so does that. Maybe that goes out? I don't know. Anyway, but it's definitely been discouraging to everybody on the server, and making it definitely difficult to be motivated on there. I've been working on things. I made a drowned farm recently, and I have a ton of tridents that I would love to, share with the others in some fashion or other. I'd of course would prefer to sell them, get the economy moving and whatnot. But there's just, I talked about it a little bit in our Discord server, and there's just been no interest shown whatsoever. I have a ton of obsidian. I was like, oh hey, maybe I'll set up an obsidian shop, haha, and just no interest whatsoever. Which isn't. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, I guess, but what it really comes down to is just that it's not. I don't know. SMPDX. This is hard to say, but SMPDX might be dying a little bit, and maybe it's just a temporary thing, because this happened. This has happened several times before, right? It happened. It's why we reset for season 3 in a lot of ways. It's why we reset to get to season 2, which is when I started doing the recording and everything. The server just kind of died. A lot of the members had other things come up in their lives. They became active in other communities, or they were just busy, or they fell out of Minecraft entirely. And I really feel like that's what's happened with the majority of the SMPDX community, is that they've either moved on from Minecraft and are enjoying other games more, or they have other responsibilities, jobs and school, or other things like that. Which is totally fine. Obviously, we don't want to have a monopoly on a person's life for life when when there's very important things for people out there. And so, but I don't know. None of us have this as a job, right? You look at, for instance, the Hermitcraft community, and they are a tight-knit group of friends who play on a server together, and it's their job, right? They do this for work. They get paid to hang out and to have fun and to play Minecraft, basically, which is something I'm eternally jealous of. I don't know that I could pull it off as a job. I think there are things that would make that type of work very difficult for me. But I'm a bit jealous of that, definitely. And it certainly helps, keep the server running. And you do notice when a season is coming to a close, there's that massive drop in participation in things, and massive drop in activity between the people, and they all, they lose the inspiration and whatnot, and sometimes some of them don't come back for the next season. But okay, hang on, 1, 2, 5. Excuse me. Oh man, I'm drinking some root beer right now, and that's, man, feeling burpy apparently. But Oof. Um. Yeah, I don't know. I really feel like SMPDX has been a great server to play on and a great server to record on, but it's missing a certain something, which makes it, which would make it better to record on or better to play on in that kind of long-termy sort of way. And don't get me wrong, I don't intend to stop playing on SMPDX. I definitely don't. I'm gonna continue playing on it until 2, 3, 4, until it stops being a thing entirely. Um, that is my plan at this point. I never want to stop playing on SMPDX, but I'm very discouraged by the amount of activity on it, or the lack of activity on it rather, and it just, I don't know. Anyway, part of my thinking is, right, if I was able to record as often as I would like to, which I would like to get a video out a week, at least one, Hello? Hello? I just heard a spider. Anyway, yeah, there it is again. Anyway, I would like to get a video or two out a week, right? One Minecraft video would be plenty to get out a week. Considering that I would have to also be working in an actual job, right? I say that because this is just a hobby for me. But I would like to get one Minecraft video out a week. Maybe an unboxing video or a vlog or something else out each week as well. But working with that, if I was going to be able to record as often, I don't know that I'm feeling as inspired to record on SMPDX because nobody else does anymore. And that's part of why I enjoyed doing it. Quirky Squid used to make videos on SMPDX, and I loved them to death. They were incredibly, they were just incredible. They were hugely, he inspired me every time he did it. I loved his stuff, his videos. His formatting was great. His storytelling in them was great. Everything about it was just super awesome, and I loved it. But he doesn't make Minecraft videos anymore. He's kind of just fallen out of that. It doesn't appeal to him anymore. And if I felt that way, I'd stop making Minecraft videos as well. So again, not complaining about that, but just he doesn't do it anymore. Same thing with Dat Nerd. I don't know what's up with Dat Nerd. I don't know if he's just fallen out, if it doesn't do it for him anymore, if he felt too much pressure from it in some fashion. Perhaps he just feels like he's fallen so far behind with it all that he feels like he needs to catch up, and that just doesn't interest him. Perhaps he's just busy and doesn't have the time and wants to dedicate his hours of the day to something else, which is not a bad idea for a young person to do, especially when there's school and work and things that you need to be considering. Let's see here. Who else used to record? Nano. Nano used to record, and then he stopped recording for a while due to something, and then he started recording again, and he was producing, honestly, probably the greatest content on the internet while he was doing that. It was so good. Just, oh man, I loved every second of it. It was funny. It was, I don't know. It was the internet at its finest, really, in a weird sort of way. And he's been having so many connection issues that he cannot play anymore. He physically cannot actually play. And so he's stopped recording because he can't record anymore. Fluff used to record all the time as well. And now he's gotten more into streaming, but a lot of things have been coming up in life for him that just make it difficult for him. In a variety of ways, and I say that a lot, but really in a variety of ways, it's difficult for Fluff to be recording and whatnot, and streaming and whatever else he decides to do. It's not simple, and he really has to pick and choose what he wants to do. There's stresses in life, and sometimes Minecraft might not be the thing that's the stress reliever for everybody. It's a great stress reliever for me. But that doesn't mean it's going to be that for Fluff. And Toby is the other one who was recording. That's who it is. He, I guess I don't know for sure what the story with Toby is with everything, but hasn't he hasn't recorded in a long time. I feel like he hit Minecraft Burnout pretty hard, is my guess, and that sucks definitely. I've never really hit Minecraft Burnout, honestly. Like, I got burnt out on projects and I need to do something else. And maybe I'll get burnt out and then stop playing for a couple of days, maybe a week at most, but then I'm back at it because I'm mildly actually addicted to this game, which may or may not be good. I'll let you decide. So he doesn't hardly play anymore, and he definitely doesn't record anymore, which is sad. I loved his videos, but he's inspired to do other things, and he is doing other things. I recommend you go check him out and show him some love and support, and encourage him to keep doing the things because they're awesome, even if it's not SMPDX. But again, another long-winded way of saying a thing here is basically what I'm doing. And what it is that I'm saying is that if I could record every day, or not every day, but if I could record as much as I wanted to get that one video out a week, there's honestly a part of me that thinks maybe I should be doing Titancraft videos. Or, find another server community that is active and also has other people recording, a number of other people recording. I know that Titancraft has some people recording on it. I don't actually know who they are, for sure. I've spent very little time actually on this server interacting with the community, which saddens me. But, there's a part of me that the server is going to be resetting soon with 1.13 coming out. That's just not a question. Really, what we're waiting for right now is a solid Spigot version, which, considering there isn't even a solid vanilla version really right now, it's very poorly optimized and pretty terrible. Still, who knows when that'll be? Who really knows when that'll be? But they were thinking as early as October for a server reset, which is a lot of why we're really crunching to get this build taken care of now, because we really want to finish this, obviously, and it's why a lot of people have been donating time and resources and things to the effort, like Pendle, who's just really wants to see the airport finished, possibly almost as much as we want to see it finished. Of course, we might want to see it finished more because we never want to see it, again. But no, I'm joking. I got a hair in my mouth. I've been loving this project. It's very grindy. There's a lot of grind work to it, and it's got a lot of aspects that just aren't really for me. But it's been fun to work on with Bear and with a few other people here and there. But my point being that there's a chance SMPDX, which I never wanted to see it go, but sometimes something just has to go, right? A change has to be made, and SMPDX might have to go at some point. And we didn't reset the server for 1.13 because so many of us still had active projects that we wanted to continue, and there was just a general feeling across pretty much everybody that the server just wasn't done yet. It wasn't ready, and we weren't ready for it to be done. There were only a couple of people who really ever talked about a reset, and then honestly, they did some looking around at the server, and we found a new spot to build, and etc., etc. And yeah, it's been great, but again, just not as much activity due to people being very busy in life. And I don't know, it's turned into a very casual experience for me. I've done a lot of work without recording recently, which has been a struggle for me, definitely. I definitely feel like I should be recording everything that I do on that server. That's why I played on that server in a lot of ways, was to be a YouTube series, right? If I wasn't recording, I didn't play a lot of the time, because I felt like I needed it for that, because I was sharing that experience with everybody else, right? With YouTube. And I hit a point where my options were really stop playing on the server entirely, or don't record what I do. And I chose to not record what I was doing because I couldn't. wasn't a viable option. Oh, I'm gonna fall off of here. Okay, never mind. I'm not. Wasn't a viable option for me to record because of my current living situation, my current setup, and everything. Couldn't be done. Couldn't be helped really. And honestly, if there's one thing I'm terrible about, it's certain types of discipline, such as waking up when to do things. And if I discipline myself to wake up really early, especially on the days when I worked in the evening, I could potentially get a bunch of alone time down here, because a lot of the people who do things down here, they get up and then they go to work, or they get up later because they're night owls and they do things more at night. So potentially I could have had time to record, but I'm terrible at that type of discipline, and I fully acknowledge that, and I'm not proud of it necessarily, but I mean, I'm kind of meh about it. Doesn't bother me hugely, I guess you could say. But the point being, in any case, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the recording. I couldn't do the things with that. I had all this stuff going on over the summer, and everything caught up with me, and I couldn't do it. So, I don't know. When Titancraft resets, when my life resets, I don't know. A lot of things need to change, really, is what it comes down to. Whether that's with the YouTube channel, my actual life, I'm struggling with a lot of it, because I don't like change. A lot of people are like that. Most people don't like change, to some degree at least. There are people out there, I'm sure, who love it. I am not one of them, because I like things to be relatively easy. And when things change, that just makes it more difficult. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I think to some degree I was hoping that I would record this video and I would suss some things out, figure some stuff out, and be able to, suddenly be like, oh, hey, of course, that's the decision that I should be making. No, I'm in no way at that point, honestly. I don't know. Things are weird in my life right now, and it's been difficult. It'll continue to be difficult. It'll always be difficult. There will always be difficulties. That's just how life is, right? Not to get philosophical on you, but that's just the truth. And I think, with that, I'm going to try to wrap up this video. We're at, just about an hour, which is, about where I've been having these things be, I guess, of late. I say of late. The only 2 other episodes have been an hour or so, I think. And I guess, I don't know. I just needed to talk about that stuff. And I hope you don't mind that I used you all as a... What? Okay. A bit of a sounding board for just my general thoughts and whatnot. Sometimes I need to vent. And I don't like venting to people. Like, I could obviously vent to my fiance or to one of my family members or a good friend, but sometimes just talking out loud is what I need to do, and I do that by myself sometimes, but then I feel crazy. He says, realizing maybe he is kind of crazy. Maybe there's some truth to that. No. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Who knows, really? But that's what a crazy person would say. But yeah, it's just sometimes it helps for me to vent a little bit and get things talked out loud, and helps me think, helps me put things in perspective. Kind of like the whole, it was, it sounded like a good idea in my head type of thing, and then you say it out loud and you're like, oh, well, that was actually a terrible idea. Why did I ever think that? So I guess, yeah. One other thing I suppose I should mention. I have started a Patreon account, and I feel really weird saying that for a variety of reasons. Once again, same thing with like the asking for gifts that I mentioned earlier. It feels weird to do so, to ask for things, especially, money or help or expensive items, I feel really weird asking for things like that. But I opened up a Patreon account in part because some of the other members of the SMPDX server wanted to, they wanted to donate money every month to help pay for the server. Because, I'm not, with my current situation, I'm doing okay financially, but I'm not making much money, for extra money at least. And we were talking about upgrading everything and blah, 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 and they're like, well, hey, if I can contribute money in some way, I would love to. And a few of them insisted that I start a Patreon, so I have a Patreon, which is running. I'm the lunatic on there, of course, as I am everywhere, pretty much. Everywhere that I am, at least, Taking aside things like Instagram and other places that I'm not, I'm the lunatic everywhere. So if for some reason you feel like donating a little bit of money there, obviously you don't have to. I want to very much stress that you definitely don't have to donate anything, ever. This is free, fun stuff that I do because I find it fun, and I don't want you to have to pay for it. But if you do decide that you want to throw a little bit of money my way to help support anything, the channel, equipment for projects, the server, etc., I won't have any choice but to graciously accept without being rude about it, and so therefore I will graciously accept and be very thankful for that support. Link will be in the description probably from now on in my videos. I may bring it up again a couple of times, but don't expect that to be a normal plug from me about the Patreon, because the option there is to donate monthly. I don't see myself putting out monthly content necessarily, and I say that, and I have put out content while I've been living here, so that's more content than I have expected to put out at all, really. Any content is more than I expected to be putting out, so who knows, maybe I'll surprise myself, and if I have people donating to me on Patreon, I'll feel guilty, and then I'll have to get things out, right? That's how that works. Maybe I'll find some things to record that don't require location specifics, and I'll maybe go somewhere to record it or something. But I want to update this because it's not going to have the weird holes in it anymore. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Oh, isn't that great? Okay. But yeah, I guess that's. I think that's the only other thing I wanted to mention was the Patreon account, and I guess to say that I wanted to mention it, maybe taking things a little bit too far, because again it feels weird and awkward. But if you guys have any questions about anything from this episode, as always, feel free to leave a comment or contact me in some fashion or another. Twitter works, Discord is a thing. I'm not popular enough that I won't take note of any of your contact attempts and whatnot, so feel free. And I love interacting with the community. It's part of the reason that I love doing YouTube, is that there are people to interact with. So don't hesitate to contact me or whatever, questions or comments or feedback, or if you have encouragements or things, I'll definitely take encouragements. But yeah, this has been a great project and a lot of fun. Who knows if you'll see anything more of it. I'll definitely try to do some sort of showcasing when it is finished, whether we actually get it finished on the server or if we have to finish it just completely in creative and do it that way. Depending on when the server resets, we'll probably change that one way or another. But I think I'm going to head out now. I'm going to... What time are we looking at? It's, 5:45. I could either stay up for like another hour or so and say goodbye to my fiance as she heads out the door for work, or I could go to bed and sleep. Maybe I'll go to bed and sleep. That sounds like it's probably a better idea, just in general. Of course I am trying to shove my schedule forward a bit so that doing the overnight tonight doesn't hurt too much. But I don't want to go too crazy with it, so... with that, all said, I do want to thank you again. Sorry, I'm not moving. I'm just staring at a shulker box top. The screen wasn't frozen, I swear. I have had problems, of course, like that in the past, so don't be too confused. But, I want to thank you all again for your support, for just enjoying the videos, even if you don't like them. Hit the like button or comment or subscribe or whatever. If you watch it and you enjoy it, thank you. Thank you just for that. That's why I do this. That's why I share it, is because I enjoy that other people enjoy it. If you want to know about other projects that I'm working on, I have a Discord channel, which doesn't, I think if you follow me on Mixer, or if you donate to me on Patreon, I don't know. Maybe it's only a Patreon perk. I have to look into this. I don't remember how anything works. I think it is a Patreon only perk, actually. Maybe a Mixer follower thing as well. I don't know. I think maybe I'll make it an open thing, or maybe have like an open channel or two on it for everyone, and then the rest of it will be specific to certain levels of support and whatnot, just because I have to have some reward or another to give out when I'm not giving out content. But hit me up there. You can find out other projects that I'm doing. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to know more about the things that I'm doing, whether it's that green screen photography I mentioned, or I'm writing a book, or trying to write a book, sort of a short story-ish book. But I'm trying to do that. So if you want to know more about that, hit me up. Other video projects that I'm working on, Project Archimedes is one that I wanted to get it done by November this year, but there's no way on planet Mars or that star over there that it's happening, just due to the sheer volume of work that needs to be done for it. And I've been busy, like I said. So, but yeah, no, if you want to support me, really the best thing to do is to just ask me about stuff, right? Ask me about what I'm doing. Be interested in my content, because you will be far more interested in my work than I will ever be in my work. Or something like that. Your interest in my work will be far more motivating to me than anything else. If I have people bothering me to write, I'll write more often. If I have people bothering me to record, I'll record more often. If I have people bothering me to draw something, maybe I'll try drawing something even. Who really knows? I haven't done much art in a while, but that's the thing. So, yeah, let me know what's going on with that sort of stuff, or let me know what you think about everything that I've talked about, which has been rambling and crazy and all over the place, as it usually is. But yeah, hopefully at some point I'll be able to get into a regular swing of things again. I say again, ever. Maybe I'll someday be able to get into a regular swing of things. We can only hope. And with that, I bid you all ta-ra. Thanks again, peoples of the interwebs, and I hope you have a wonderful, well, I don't know, whatever time it is for you. Ta-ra.